Okay, good morning again, everybody. This is the first lesson for the training aerial photography. So actually, there's a small problem with the first slide already. It says course aerial photography, but it's a training. The difference between, if you don't know this, the difference between a training and a course, as defined by Avance University of Applied Science, is that a training is more practical. So you'll learn a practical skill. This could either be a computer skill, a skill working in the field, or a lab skill. And in this example, you'll be learning both some computer skills and field skills. And so that's why it's a training. It's just one CAA, it's just one EC, European Credit Point, which means you'll spend about 28 hours in total. And most of that time will be spent doing some assignments and some field work. So I'll try to keep my first lesson short. I want to show you 3 techniques, and then you can use the rest of your time working on the assignment, which starts immediately. Before we do that, though, let me talk about the training a little bit more. So in this training, you will learn about the basics of aerial photography. What is aerial photography? You will learn about drones and the safety precautions when using drones. You will learn how to put photos together and how to project them geographically. And actually that's what we're doing today. And you will also learn how to classify the aerial photographs when they are put into a geographic information system. So today's lesson, I'll get to that soon, but the course in general is today's lesson you'll learn this. And the next lesson that's in 1 week, you will learn about that, about what a drone is, the safety precautions. And then in the last lesson, you'll be learning this, and you have some field work and a final assignment also. And a final assignment where you bring everything together. Okay, so I mentioned assignments. There are 2 assignments, a quiz, and a final assignment. Each assignment is worth 25% of your final grade. The quiz is pass-fail. The final assignment is worth 50% of your final grade. The grade will be awarded when all assignments are given a 5.5, 5.5 or higher, and you have passed the quiz. So that means the quiz, we don't grade the quiz, you have to pass the quiz, and I think passing the quiz means you answer all the questions correctly, but I'll let Maurits introduce that. You can take the quiz over and over and over and over and over until you get all the answers, all the questions right. And everything else is graded on a scale of 1 to 10, and 25% for each of the first 2 assignments and 50% for the final assignment. All assignments must be done individually. So, and I will be looking to see if you have the same photographs, the same stitching. There should always be some differences. So everything must be done individually, and it must be turned in on Blackboard via the link that's provided on Blackboard. So we do not accept assignments by email. I think that's pretty straightforward. One of the fun things about this training is you get to go outside, but because of that, the agenda, the schedule of courses is difficult because you don't, especially this fieldwork one. If it's bad weather, there's no way that we can, schedule the weather. I wish we could, but if it's raining or if it's very windy, obviously you can't be working in the field if it's dangerous outside for you and the drone. I mean, it's electrical equipment. You don't want to be flying during a rainstorm or if it's very windy. So it's impossible to schedule the field work, but we'll try to tell you at least a few days ahead of time when we see how the weather is. But today's class is on the 18th, so it's today at 10:35. It's 10:45 now, and we are in room LA008. As you see, all of the computer-based lessons are an LA008. And with well, the fieldwork obviously is not in the computer room. The reasons for this is that we were using a software program called ArcGIS Desktop. Most of you are familiar with that, and you have to install it on the computers here. It's really easy, but it's better if you use the same computers every week because it takes 10 minutes to install the program, and uh, well, you can install it on any computer in the entire university. Just to save time, we decided to use the same room. So for the people who are sitting here now, remember your computer so that when you come back next week, you don't have to reinstall the software. Okay, so and as you see, none of these are in your schedule of classes because because of weather. If, for example, next Monday, for example, if next Monday is fantastic weather, um, uh, Maurits may send out an email. Sorry, my phone thinks I'm talking to it. So Maurits may send an email out, fieldwork on Monday at certain time, and I'll meet you there. So all of these dates are temporary, and they're subject to be changed. I apologize, but we'll hope that the weather is good and we don't have to change any of the lessons. But be warned that these times may change, and of course, if they change the times, we will also give you extra time to do the homeworks. Don't worry about that. We'll work together. We'll all be flexible. As I said, uh, today's today's lesson we have an assignment 1. That's worth 25%. That's due on the 26th before midnight. That's next week on Tuesday. Because a lot of students are in Finland right now, and I want to give them the chance to do the homeworks as well, the assignment as well. The quiz needs to be done whenever the field work happens. You have to finish the quiz. It's basically a safety quiz for you to show us you know what you're doing. And then assignment 2 is due on the 29th before 12:15. That's next week Friday, I believe. And then the final assignment is due before the 2nd of October. Yeah, come on in, Vim. Just close the door. The 2nd of October before midnight. And so you have, in every class, you'll have in the computer room to do your assignment. So today, after today's lesson, you'll have at least another hour to start, if not finish your assignment. And then next week, you'll have time to finish your assignment as well. So every computer lesson will have a short presentation, and then I'll be here to help you. Is there any questions about the agenda or the assignments or the grading before I start today's presentation? No. Yes, you do, Yolp. And I will tell you ArcGIS Desktop, and I will tell you in my presentation where to get it. And either you can use one of our computers, any computer in Avance, you can install it very simply. But you can also download a free version of ArcGIS Desktop. Unfortunately, there is no version of ArcGIS Desktop for Apple. So if you are a Apple user, you will have to find a PC, a Microsoft computer to use. But yes, you will need ArcMap for both assignments and the final assignment, but not the fieldwork, obviously. Okay. So what will you learn in today's lesson? Really two things. You will learn how to stitch together photographs. It's pretty easy, but if you've never done it, then you have to learn it somehow. Now it's time to learn that. That you do not need ArcMap for. I'll show you how to do that. And then we will be georeferencing a stitched together map, and there are two ways of doing that. And I will teach you both ways of doing that, although you won't have to do it both ways. For your assignment, you can choose which one. The one way of georeferencing your aerial photograph is to use a layer, a file that's already georeferenced. And you do that in a lot of cases for if you are using the same area over and over and over. If you go back to the same area and you already have a georeferenced file to work from, then you use this technique. The other technique, yes, I'm recording this course, Duo. I'll put it online also. The second one is the georeferenced aerial photograph is using XY coordinates. And you use this two ways. Either you've gone into the field and you have extremely well detailed exactly where something is, or if you can find the area on in Google Maps, for example. And the example I show you is using Google Maps. It's really easy. But that's not always the case. Sometimes you can't use Google Maps. For example, if you are in the jungle of Ecuador, this is not a joke, there's lots of students who, I think there's one student at least who's in Ecuador right now in the field, and it would be impossible for him to use Google Maps to georeference his aerial photographs. I will assume actually that everyone will use the second technique on the assignment, but you don't have to. If you want to use the first technique on this assignment, that's fine. But in our case, you have a aerial photograph of an island in Finland, and you can just go to Google Maps and find the XY coordinates very simply. So this is a little bit boring, but I'll let you reference this at any time. The presentation's up online. But I also make a video. I've already made a video for you to help you to do this. First, to do that, to stitch together aerial photographs, it's quite easy. First, download the photos from Blackboard, or if you whatever you're doing. If you're doing for your project, get the photos, look at the photos, and figure out how they fit together. It's like a puzzle, right? And you have to look at the pieces to figure out how they go together. Because photos in general require a lot of memory, it's quite often preferred to take a screenshot of the photograph rather than to insert the photograph itself. It's also a little bit easier to use. And to orient the photos and put the pieces together in a graphics program. For example, Photoshop, or to be honest, I just use PowerPoint. It's a lot easier. But if you can use any kind of, you can use Paint if you want, any kind of graphics software program. But the example I'm giving you today is I did it in PowerPoint. But you have to save the file, whatever software program you use, save it as a JPEG file. The tip, I'll give you a tip on stitching together. Because of the height of the drone, remember you're taking the photographs from about 100 meters up or higher sometimes, and the photograph is taken like this. It's angled, so you must be aware that you have to have overlap on the photos. You'll notice this if like you try to do the haraka, the example I told you. It took me like I think 26, 30, or 30 photographs. Technically, I could have done it in like 5 photographs, but the edges would have been so misformed that they wouldn't connect. Why is it so misformed? Because of if it's hilly, you're getting an angle. So if the drone's here, you'll be taking the photograph at this angle, and you'll be missing a lot of area. It'll be misformed because you're taking a 3D object, so the hill, and transforming it into a 2D object, the photograph. So it'll misform. I'm going to do this for you very quickly, just to show you how easy it is. I'll do a screen share. It's not screen sharing. Let me do it again. Ah, there we go. So let me, where was I? So I've already downloaded all of the photographs. Let's see, this is all of Harak Island. Here I'll show you that the composite is. This is what it looks like, the island. After I've stitched it together. Let's make this bigger. Do you see? Oh, I took lots of photographs and I've stitched them together with as much care as possible, and you'll see a pretty good picture of the island. It is a little bit of misform. This building here has been misformed just slightly, and this road too. I probably should have taken one more photograph here to make this better. The tree looks good, but the road not so much. So it's not perfect, but not bad for about an hour work. It took me about an hour in the field and an hour in the computer to make this. It might take you a little bit more time if you've never done this before. But let's go back to the photographs. Example. So I'll take this photograph, which is the tip of the island, the right side of what you just saw. I'll maximize it, and I will do a print screen. So I hit, let's see, from my computer, it's function print screen. Control print screen. Oh, it may not work because I'm making, that's too bad. I'm making a movie, so it won't print screen, I don't think. But you do print screen. I normally use Paint. You paste it in Paint, and then you select it. That's not selecting. You select it, copy, open up PowerPoint, PowerPoint's slow, my computer's a little bit slow, and you paste it in PowerPoint, an empty sheet. You can manipulate it any way you want and shrink it. Just to quicken the process, I'll show you what it looks like when you're finished. So this is my PowerPoint of all of the photographs of Harak Island. So you see, I made a gray background, just a gray background for about the same color as the water. And these are all individual photos. Yeah. And I've had to move them around a bit to make sure that they aligned perfectly. Yeah. So in the assignment, I asked you to take 4 photographs. You don't have to do the entire island, but I asked you to take 4 photographs just to learn the whole stitching technique, because you will be doing this in your projects for sure. It's not difficult, but it's necessary. Okay, where were we? I'll stop screen sharing now. That last photograph is also on Blackboard. So all of the photographs are on Blackboard for you to use. The next thing you'll be doing is georeferencing your aerial photograph once it's been stitched together. The first is you need to, the georeferencing, just a background if you don't know what georeferencing is, it's the process of aligning spatial data, so layers that are in a shape file, to an image file. You have to align them. So you have a photograph, but there's no spatial information in the photograph. So you can use historical maps, silent images, or other aerial photographs to georeference the photograph. Once you open the software, make sure to open the toolbar georeferencing, which you can find under Customize Toolbars Georeferencing, because it's not standard. Yeah, I see people, they've already found it. Some people here have found it. Oh, there's Maurits, everybody. Wave to Maurits. So make sure you use the georeferencing toolbar. Prepare your spatial layers. So open all spatial layers with the software program ArcGIS once it's already been stitched together. Zoom in to the approximate area you want to go to, and then you can go from one to the other. Adjusting colors and shapes so they will be visible, and also the polygons will be easier to use if you make them hollow, so that you make them like one color. It may be, you may be kind of lost, but in my videos it'll all become clear. It's difficult to explain by just giving a presentation, which is why I made the videos. So just bear with me. This may be coming fast. You're like, what is he talking about? Once you watch my video, it'll all make sense. So you open the software program, make sure the toolbar is active, and then open the layers and aerial photograph. And under georeferencing, you'll want to click on Fit to Display if you haven't done that already. Again, this is shown in my video. And then the first method is when you use an already georeferenced layer, which you can do if you want, but you probably won't be doing. But I just want to teach you it anyway, because in the future you might have to. I know, especially one of the projects, you will be using aerial photographs over time, and it's just a lot easier if this is actually faster if you georeferencing by using an already georeferenced photograph is a lot faster, but yeah, you have to already have it georeferenced. So for some of you in your projects, I think in using the Lonin Dunes, you'll be using like the same aerial photographs from different years. So you should learn this technique for your project. So what you do, you go to the georeferencing toolbar, and you select the layer that you want to project. So this is the not georeferenced, and you click on this. That's a point-to-point georeferencing button. So you click on first on the aerial photograph that is not referenced. You choose a point. In my video, I'll show you. I use either where two roads cross, or where there's there's a tree that's very prominent that I use. So you left click on the ungeoreferenced, and then you go to the other one and you left click on that, and it links those 2 points together. You have to do that at least 3 times. And once you do it the first time, it's a snap. It's not difficult, but you have to learn it. The first time will take you probably like a half an hour. The second time will take you 5 minutes. The second method is using an XY coordinate. So it's georeferencing using an XY coordinate. Well, how do you get those XY coordinates? So after placing so the technique is, instead of using this point-to-point, make sure you have the table opening. So you left click on that, like where two roads cross, you left click on it, and then you immediately right click on it, and you can enter the XY coordinates. Where do you get the XY coordinates? You get them from Google Maps. And I guess I will screen share again. It's really, really easy. I show you in the video, so watch the video, but it's really easy. I'll screen share to show you how easy it is. Okay, so you go to Google Maps. Here is Finland. We'll be using Harakka Island. So this is Finland. I think I pointed to Sweden. I said this is Finland. Anyway, this is Finland. So if you zoom in, just zoom in. This is Helsinki, and this is Harakka Island, and this is Helsinki. This is Harakka. The Harakka means it's a type of bird. Supposedly this island looks like a bird. This is like the beak or something. I don't know. I'm not sure which bird it is, but right. So here it is. If you remember that photo, this is it's kind of turned sideways. But let's pick one location that's easily identifiable. How about this lookout area? It's at the top of. You can't see it very well, but it's at the top of the hill. If you right click on it, and then what's here? And voila, look. This is, I don't know if you can see that. These are the coordinates that you just simply copy and paste into ArcGIS. But be careful, as I mentioned in my video, it's not XY, it's YX. So again, remember that and watch the videos. I mentioned it several times. This is Y and this is X. Why is that? Because it's north goes north-south, and that's y-axis. And east goes east-west, so it's the x-axis. So that's where a lot of confusion goes if you confuse the x and the y. Yeah. But trust me, this is something that you'll probably take, the first time you do it, it'll probably take you about 25-30 minutes. And when you do it again, it'll take you 5 minutes. You'll do it like that, really fast. So I'm going to, keep it short. So it's 11 o'clock. You still have, I think we're here until 12:30. So you have an hour and a half. It should be enough time to finish your assignment. If you don't have Esri already, or you don't want to use our computers, you want to do it at home, here's the link to the Esri site, and you can get a trial version of ArcGIS Desktop for 21 days. And you can, if you want to, every 21 days renew it with a different email address, which some students do. And that will probably take you. You have to register, download it. They give you a password, and then you have it on your laptop. If in school, installing it's even easier. You just go to the Start button and search for ArcGIS, and it'll say ArcGIS installation. And you just click on that, and it installs it in about 5 to 10 minutes, depending on how busy the computers are at the time. And some of the computers are older than other computers, so it may take longer. But remember to sign up to the Blackboard site, because that's where you find. We'll go over that. I'll do a screen share again to show you everything on the Blackboard site. And my last sheet is the videos. So I mentioned the videos that you can watch them on YouTube. I also have the Blackboard site, and in the videos it takes you through the process of georeferencing the aerial photographs. Use my PowerPoint also as a reference if you'd like, but I think the videos do I made them, but I've done this for a few years, and students just watch the video one time, 2 times, and you'll be an expert. It can be frustrating the first time you do it, but once you do it one time, it's like riding a bicycle. You'll never forget how to do it. Okay, so I mentioned Blackboard site. I think most of you have already signed up for the Blackboard site. Yeah, I'll do a screen share again. Okay, here we are. So, Blackboard. If you haven't already signed up, the Blackboard site is called Training Aerial Photography. I looked earlier, and most people have already signed up. But you'll see here the announcements. So on the announcements, I have the schedule of classes. Under documents, I have a couple of very important things. The first is the syllabus. So go ahead and read the syllabus. That takes you, it tells you about the grading and classes, what's how what's it all worth. Here are the photographs. It's a zip file. It's 153 megabytes zipped. So they're pretty detailed photographs. You use that for stitching the photographs together. This is the PDF of the presentation I just gave you. And here are the videos. So if you don't want to go to YouTube, you could watch the videos directly from Blackboard. So you have to click on it. Or you can use the link I sent you already and watch the videos there. Also, what's very important is the assignment area. The first assignment's already up. And here's the assignment. It's there's only two things. The assignment is only two parts. Let's see. And as I mentioned, you need to stitch an aerial photographs together and then georeference them. So here we go. So download the aerial photographs of Harakka Island, Helsinki, Finland from Blackboard. I just showed you where those are. Look at all the photos, and one of them is the already stitched together. So obviously, don't use that one, but perform the following actions. One, for the first one, you don't use the stitched together one. You choose any four of the photographs that overlap. Stitch them together using, well, I use PowerPoint, but you can use Photoshop, and paste them, the stitched together photograph that you've produced right here on this page. Just, control, do a screenshot and paste it in here. That one is worth 3 points, I believe. Yeah, sorry, this is 3 points. This should be here. Another mistake I made. So the first one is 3 points. The second one will take you a little bit more time. So take the composite photograph that I've already done for you. That one's labeled Aerial Composite Harakka Island 2016. Open that to ArcGIS and use one of the two techniques that you learned today and that I have videos for. Remember, if you decide to use the XY coordinate method, Google Maps has all the coordinates for Harakka Island and the city of Helsinki, Finland. So the other method, you can use an already georeferenced layer, and if you're familiar with ArcGIS Desktop, you'll know that it has a free background map that you can use. So it is possible to use a second technique. I think it's easier to use the first technique though, but be free, feel free to do one or both, as long as you then take 5 screenshots of you doing it, right? So, and you paste them below. So you open up the photograph in ArcGIS, take a screenshot, and put it Control V here. While you're taking a XY coordinate from Google Maps, screenshot, put it in here. Then you define the XY, screenshot, put it in here. Do that 3 times, and you're finished. If there are any questions about how to do it, again, I have links in the homework to the videos on how to do it. So it'll take you directly to. Hello everybody, and this is the second. Pause that. It takes you directly to the video that explains how to do it. It takes about 12 minutes for me to explain it, but really, if you've done it before, it takes you 5 minutes. All right, let's go back to Big Blue Button. I'll stop screen sharing. I've recorded it, and I think some students are already starting the assignment, which is good. I'd say hop to it. If you have any questions, now would be a good time to ask it. No? Okay, good. I will stop the recording.